waiting for you. Are you ready? You're not ready. You better check them. I want you to sound as good as you used to, and you will, I guarantee you. That's enough. You weren't going to start playing, were you? Oh, okay. We got it. That's not my intro. There's a young lady, and she'll always be young to me. I tell you, she used to come in a record store I had in Baltimore back in 1957, I believe it was, around that time. The late 1800s. I was selling records, and she was buying them. She used to come in there with Mike Seeger and Hazel Dickens and the whole crowd. And I was looking at her last night, and I thought, she hasn't changed, but I changed enough for both of us. And I hope she hasn't changed in her singing style, because she's one of my favorites, and she's certainly surrounded by some other fine favorites of yours and mine. So let's let them know it. Big hand for Alice, Tom, and Brad right here.
Thank you very much. More than 60 years ago, my grandmother's family moved from Virginia up to Maryland, and they moved from a place in Carroll County, Virginia, Fancy Gap, Virginia, right up on the spine of the Blue Ridge Mountains, right between Hillsville and Galax. And this is a long time ago. You couldn't make a living in those days. It was a very beautiful location they moved from. They lived right, nowadays the Blue Ridge Parkway would go right through what was their front yard. And right across the street from the Blue Ridge Parkway is now a scenic overlook where you can stand there and look at the entire Piedmont spread at your feet. And they moved away from there and they moved up to Maryland because they couldn't make a living. And Maryland was the land of opportunity. But I always imagine that they must have thought back to their home in Virginia. And you got to notice the difference in the landscape, the contour of the land. Every time I drive down the Blue Ridge Parkway, I look at that little spot and I think they must have missed that beautiful location, the quiet beauty. So we're going to do an old Carter family song that talks a little bit about those sentiments. It's called My Home Among the Hills.
My home among the hills of old Virginia I love still, and it stands near a lonesome pine. How I long to go back to that vine-covered shack where I left that old mother of mine. I can still see her there in that old rocking chair in my home among the hills, and I seem to hear her
play what we call old-time music, but you know, for a lot of folks, there's not a heck of a lot of difference, or not as much difference maybe as some people might think, between old-time music and bluegrass, and they certainly share a lot of songs in common. And a lot of songs come from old-time music groups like the Carter Family, like that last one. This next one here is not a real old number. It's maybe 40 or 50 years old, I guess. I've heard a story about how this one came to be played the way we play it. The song is a Blueridge Cabin Home, and it was, of course, written by Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs. But I've heard a story about back in the early 60s when Flatt and Scruggs appeared at the Newport Folk Festival, along with the great banjo player and blues singer Doc Boggs. And Doc told Lester and Earl how much he admired them and how much he liked that song that they did, the Blueridge Cabin Home. So Doc copied down the words from Lester and went home back to Norton, Virginia, and of course by that time forgot the tune, so he made up one of his own. And it came out sounding something like this.
There's a well-beaten path on this old mountainside where I wandered when I was a lad. And I wandered along to the place I call home in those Blue Ridge hills far away. Oh, I love those hills of old Virginia. From those Blue Ridge hills I did roam. When I die, won't you bear me on the mountain, far away near my Blue Ridge mountain home? How my thoughts wander back to that ramshackle shack in those Blue Ridge hills far away, where my mother and dad are laid there to rest. They are sleeping in peace together there. Oh, I love those hills of old Virginia. From those Blue Ridge hills I did roam. When I die, won't you bear me on the mountain, far away near my Blue Ridge mountain home? I return to that old cabin home with a sigh of a longing for days gone by. When I die, won't you bear me on that old mountainside, make my resting place upon the hill so high. Oh, I love those hills of old Virginia. From those Blue Ridge hills I did roam. When I die, won't you bear me on the mountain, far away near my Blue Ridge mountain home?
We're going to do an beautiful old waltz tune next. It's called the Gumtree Canoe. Actually, it's called the Tombigbee River, but somehow or other it seems easier to say Gumtree Canoe. But it goes way back. It was written in 1847 by a fellow named S.S. Steele. And this goes back to the days of slavery. There's a lot of imagery about slavery and freedom in the song. It's just a beautiful old song. It rolls along just like the river it sings about. So we're going to play the Gumtree Canoe. One, two, three, one. Tombigbee River, so bright I was born, in a hut made of husks of tall yellow corn. It was there that I first met my Jula so true, and I rode her around in the gum tree canoe. Sing row, way row, o'er the water so blue, like a feather will float in my gum tree canoe. Sing row, way row, o'er the water so blue, like a feather will float in my gum tree canoe. All day in the fields of soft cotton I'd hoe, and think of my Jula and sing as I go. I'd catch her bird with a wing of true blue, and at night row her round in the gum tree canoe. Sing row, way row, o'er the water so blue, like a feather will float in my gum tree canoe. Sing row, way row, o'er the water so blue, like a feather will float in my gum tree canoe. My hand on my banjo and my toe on the oar, I would sing her a song to the river's soft roar, while the bright stars shone down on my Jula so true, and they danced in her eyes in the gum tree canoe. Sing row, way row, o'er the water so blue, like a feather will float in my gum tree canoe. Sing row, way row, o'er the water so blue, like a feather will float in my gum tree canoe. One day the old river took us so far away that we couldn't get back, so we thought we'd just stay. We spied a tall ship with a flag of true blue, and she took us in tow in the gum tree canoe. Sing row, way row, o'er the water so blue, like a feather will float in my gum tree canoe. Sing row, way row, o'er the water so blue, like a feather will float in my gum tree canoe. Thank you.
Forgotten, forgotten, can no longer see. My eyes have gone blind, my soul can't feel the love we once had, like a bird falling down, once gliding and soaring, now dying on the ground. Nothing to hold it, no, nowhere to go, just down to the marshes to lay and grow cold, grow cold. And it wasn't in May, no, it wasn't December. The place that love ended had no name and no number. One by one the doors closed and the walls grew
instruction the buyer, till neither knew how, no, till neither knew why. Just knew it was done, and that love was the price, the price.
Sail away, lady, sail away. Never mind if your mama say the devil's gonna take you, sail away. Sail away, sail away, sail away, lady, sail away. What your daddy say, shake your little foot and fly away. Sail away, sail away, sail away, lady, sail away. Never mind what the rich folks say, may the mighty bless you, sail away. Sail away, sail away, sail away, lady, sail away. Sail away, sail away, sail away, lady, sail away.
Thank you so much. That last tune, one we ended up with, the fiddle tune, is an old tune that dates from probably before the Civil War, and we learned it from a great North Carolina fiddler, a man by the name of Tommy Gerrard. It was a tune, yeah. He used to talk about how Kenny Baker used to come and visit him and try to learn that tune, and he just couldn't quite get it. Kenny, that was a tune that Kenny kept trying to learn, that Sail Away, ladies. It was rough. And the first tune was a song that I wrote. And this next tune, we're going to do a couple of gospel songs now. We're so happy to be here. It's been a long time since I've been at the Brandywine Festival. And we'd like to thank them for having some old-time traditional music here. We're just so happy to be in the company of people like Doc Watson and Ralph Stanley. And it's been a while since I've seen Ralph. I guess it was the Merle Fest a couple of years ago. So we're looking forward to all the great music that's here this weekend. And in case we didn't tell you, I don't know if Brad told you, but this is Tom Sauber, and he hails from L.A., California. Please make him welcome. You had to run a long way, didn't you, get here? And Brad Leftwich back here on fiddle, lives in Carborough, North Carolina. And I'm making my home these days in Durham, North Carolina. It's good to be here. We'd like to do a gospel song called Moses and the Israelites, and we learned it from a woman from Kentucky. It's a great old Kentucky thrash gospel song. Okay.
When Moses and the Israelites from Egypt they did flee, behind them were proud Pharaoh's host, in front of them the sea. God raised the waters
away. The God that lived in Moses' time is just the same today.
Gospel number. When David and Goliath met, the wrong against the right, Goliath armed with human power, and David with God's right, and David with his slinging stone. The giant blow did lay. The God that lived in David's time is just the same today. Daniel, faithful to his God, would not bow down to man. The enemies of God threw him into the lion's den. God locked the lion's jaws, we read, and robbed them of their prey. The God that lived in Daniel's time is just the same today. Pentecost had fully come, and far from heaven did fall the Holy Ghost as a rushing wind, baptized them one and all. 3,000 were converted then, made soldiers right away. The God that lived at Pentecost is just the same today. I'd rather be the least of all and be the Lord's alone than wear a royal diadem and sit upon the throne.
Thank you. Have you got a sound yet? Have you got a sound? Two more. Okay, Tom. Happy Land. Yeah.
We're going to do another hymn. It's this one was written in 1839, I believe, by a Scottish minister by the name of Andrew Young. And we don't do it, actually, I guess, in the traditional manner that it's usually performed. I've heard it. You may have heard it yourself. It's called "There Is a Happy Land." And if you are watching movies late one night and happen to see the old Cary Grant classic "Arsenic and Old Lace," this hymn was used as the theme song, if you can believe it or not. But we'll do it now. It won't sound like that at all, I don't think. Called "There Is a Happy Land."
There is a happy land far, far away, where saints in glory stand bright, bright as day. Oh, to hear the angels sing, glory to the Lord our King. Loud let his praises ring, praise, praise for aye. Come to that happy land, come, come away. Why will ye doubting stand? Why still delay? Oh, we shall happy be when from sin and sorrow free. Lord, we shall live with thee, blessed, blessed for aye. Bright in that happy land beams every eye, kept by the Father's hand, love cannot die. Oh, then to saints in glory stand, bright, bright as day. Oh, to hear the angels sing, glory to the Lord our King. Loud let his praises ring, praise, praise for aye. Oh, to hear the angels sing, glory to the Lord our King. Loud let his praises ring, praise, praise for aye.
Thank you so much. We're having a wonderful time here. We'd like to do one more tune for you here, an old-time tune that probably a lot of people know. We love doing it. It's all about shortening bread. I like shortening bread, Tom. Do you like shortening bread? Huh? So we have a table over here. We have CDs, a couple of CDs by Tom, Brad, and Alice. We were hoping our third one would be here ready now on the Copper Creek label, but it's didn't quite get to us in time. But we've got the first two on the Copper Creek label, and I brought some of the Alice and Hazel CDs, and I think Brad has some of his solo CDs, so we got plenty of stuff over there, and even some T-shirts. So we'd love to talk with you, and we'll sit over there and visit for a little while, and come on over and see us. And we'll be back this evening, I guess, about 6:30, isn't it? It's great to see Ray Davis again. It's great to hear his radio voice. He's doing a great job announcing, and we'd like to thank the sound people as well. Shortin Bread. Shortin Bread gonna kill him, baby's gonna kill him dead.
My mama makes shortin' my mama makes shortin' bread. Oh, my mama makes shortin', my mama makes shortin' bread.
The doctor said, feed them babies on shortin' bread.
My mama makes shortin', my mama makes shortin' bread. Oh, my mama makes shortin', my mama makes shortin' bread.
Like a shortin' bread.
My mama makes shortin', my mama makes shortin' bread. Oh, my mama makes shortin', my mama makes shortin' bread.
Alice, I think they want another one. Tom, Brad, and Alice. Y'all want to hear them again, don't you? Big hand for them. That's some great old-time harmony right there. Tom, Brad, and Alice. Proud of you, Alice. You too, Tom and Brad.
Thank you. We appreciate that. You're a great audience. Can you hear me? Forgot to get up to the microphone. A whole bunch of keys? Or? Oh, okay.
We actually have a new CD that's about to come out. We were hoping it would be out by now, but it's not yet. This is the title cut. It's called We'll Die in the Pigpen Fighting.
If you can figure it out, you're better than we are. That's a great picture, though. Die in the pig pen fighting. Just think about that for a minute.
Little mudslinging going on there.
Which one?
Well, says to the old sow, I'll tell you what I know. I see old farmer coming and I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Old sow says to the barrel, I'll tell you what let's do. Let's get old farmer's broad axe, he'll die in the pig pen too. Die in the pig pen too, die in the pig pen too. We'll die in the pig pen fighting, die in the war. Die in the pig pen fighting, die with a biting jaw. Die with a biting jaw, die with a biting jaw.
That's pure, folks. That's Tom, Brad, and Alice. That's that old-timey sound. Where else you going to find that? You're going to find it right here. We give you a variety. That's one thing that they do here. The Brandywine Friends of Old Time Music bring you the best music that they can find that they think that you'll enjoy. And sometimes if you don't enjoy it, they do. And after all, it's their show. But you'll enjoy all this stuff. I'm telling you, they bring some great entertainment to you, and they do it in the winter, too. And if you'd like to find out where and when, get on the mailing list. They're set up out there.
We're going to introduce now a really fine band that had a wonderful show this afternoon, was very warmly received by everybody. They play a real wide range of traditional music styles that borders on bluegrass, and it takes you to places where you can see how this great music of ours has developed. Alice Gerrard, the Alice of Tom, Brad, and Alice, is also the founder and editor of Old Time Herald magazine, which is a wonderful magazine about old time music. And they, I'm sure, can tell you how to get subscriptions at their, wherever they're going to be set up selling CDs afterwards. So please welcome back to the stage Tom, Brad, and Alice.
so much. We appreciate that. People are kind of wandering back in from supper. Y'all having a good time and having good supper here tonight? All right. Well, come on back in. It's Tom, Brad, and Alice up here. And we'd like to do a beautiful song that Hank Williams wrote. He wrote one verse and a chorus, and that's all he wrote. So about a year ago, I said, only one verse and a chorus. This is too pretty a song to just have one verse and a chorus, and we just kept singing the same thing over and over again. So I wrote a second verse to a beautiful song called the Alabama Waltz. And this, we had a request to do this especially for Jim Murphy out there. So Jim, I hope you're listening. There he is. Let me just move this a little bit.
I was sad and blue, downhearted too. It seemed like the whole world was lost when I took a chance and we happened to dance to the tune of the Alabama Waltz. Once was the Alabama Waltz. There all my fears and troubles were lost. There in your arms, with all of your charms, we danced to the Alabama Waltz. Oh, the light in your eyes warms this cold heart of mine and opened the door to my soul. All the heartaches and lies faded into the night as we danced to the Alabama Waltz. Waltz was the Alabama Waltz. There all my fears and troubles were lost. There in your arms, with all of your charms, we danced to the Alabama Waltz. There in your arms, with all of your charms, we danced to the Alabama Waltz.
Thank you so much. We're going to kind of let it all hang out here on an old-time tune that comes from the Round Peak area of North Carolina, up, a little bit north of Mount Airy, between Mount Airy and Galax. And of course, we learned this is another great tune that comes from Tommy Gerrard that he called Backstep Cindy, I believe. And we kind of put some words to it and call it, it was also kind of known as Holly Ding. So we found a few words and stuck them in there, and we call it Holly Ding, and it's the title cut of our second album on Copper Creek, which we have over here at the table. And you guys need a note, right?
Yep, we're all right.
It's a good old flatfoot dance tune called Holly Ding or Backstep Cindy.
drink no more.
Holiday.
Circle leg,
Holiday.
circle leg,
Holiday.
hands up on.
Holiday.
Way down yonder,
Holiday.
in the middle of the brain.
Holiday.
Old cow path,
Holiday.
and the buses stand.
Holiday.
Circle ride,
Holiday.
circle ride,
Holiday.
swing your corner.
Holiday.
I wouldn't advise trying to do a square dance to that, as any dance caller would know. Beverly, where are you? But we enjoy it. We like to, I'm practicing my calls. I'm trying to learn how to call a dance or two, so maybe I'll get a few straight one of these days. Let's see, Tom, you're going to...
This next tune is was written by Bill Monroe, and it's one of his wonderful sad songs, The Little Girl and the Dreadful Snake. Some folks make fun of this song because it has, maybe in a modern world that we live in, it has kind of a silly sound to the title of it, but it goes back to a much older time when folks lived a lot closer to nature than most people do today. And you really had to worry about that sort of thing. All you parents out there, your big job in life is to take care of your children, and that's what this song is about. We've kind of rearranged it a little bit. And Bill's not around, unfortunately, so he's not here to tell us we shouldn't be doing this. But so we pushed it back a few years, done it in the style that maybe Doc Boggs might have done it if he were going to do this song. The Little Girl and the Dreadful Snake.
She was out at play, lost in the woods, she couldn't hear a sound. She was a darling girl, the sweetest thing in all the world. We searched for her, but she couldn't be found. I heard the screams of our little girl far, far away. Hurry, Daddy, there's an awful dreadful snake. I ran as fast as I could through the dark and weary wood, but I reached our darling girl too late. Oh, I began to sigh, I knew that soon she'd have to die, for the snake was warning me close by. I held her close to my face, she said, Daddy, kill that snake. It's getting dark, tell Mommy goodbye. I heard the screams of our little girl far, far away. Hurry, Daddy, there's an awful dreadful snake. I ran as fast as I could through the dark and weary wood, but I reached our darling girl too late. To all you parents, I must say, don't let your children stray away. They need your love to guide them along. Oh God, I pray we'll see our darling some sweet day. It seems I still hear her voice around our home. I heard the screams of our little girl far, far away. Hurry, Daddy, there's an awful dreadful snake. I ran as fast as I
Thank you so much. That's a new one for us, and we're still kind of working out the kinks on it, but it was nice to have a chance to do it. I've always loved that song, ever since I heard the Stanley Brothers do it, and Bill Monroe. Ah, okay. Thank you. Now, there's not too much I can say about this song. It's a song about a possum. A possum, and what else, Brad? It's about a possum and just about a possum? This isn't the Rattler one, is it?
Nope. One of our favorite possums.
Okay. And you better watch out. I've got this lethal weapons in my hand. I can ruin those fingers in a second.
Possum up the dump, dump, Cooney in the holler, pretty gal, my house, pat a chicken water. Possum up the dump, dump, Cooney in the holler, pretty gal, my house, pat a chicken water.
Hug me closer, closer, mother. Put your arms around me tight, for I'm cold and tired, mother, and I feel so strange tonight. Something hurts me here, dear mother, like a stone upon my breast, and I wonder, mother, why it is I cannot rest. Just before the lamps were lighted, just before the children came, in a room so still and quiet, I heard someone call my name. All at once a window opened on a room so bright and fair. It was filled with little children, and they seemed so happy there. They were singing sweetly, Mother, sweetest songs I ever heard. They were singing sweeter, Mother, than our little yellow bird. All at once a window opened up on one so bright and fair that I knew it must be Jesus when he said, "My child, come here. Come up here, my little Bessie. Come up here and live with me, where little children never suffer in the long eternity." Then the mother clasped her darling closer to her burdened breast. On the heart so near its breaking lay the child so near its rest. At the solemn hour of midnight, in the dark and silent deep, laying on her mother's bosom, little Bessie fell asleep. Little Bessie. Thank you very much. Okay. I learned that song actually from Hazel. She's the first person Hazel Dickens, I ever heard sing it, and she said that she learned it from her mom. So that goes a long way back. It's always been one of my favorite songs. I didn't sing all the verses because it has like about 13 or 14 verses to it. But Ralph and Carter Stanley also recorded a version of Little Bessie. It's a very old song. Talks about things that really happened a lot back in those old days. Okay?
Here's one called Lazy John.
Doesn't apply to any of us, of course.
Sun at 15 cents when Saturday comes. Going to the dance to have some fun. Why don't you get away, Lazy John?
Lazy John, Lazy John, why don't you get your day's work all done? You're in the shade and I'm in the sun. Why don't you get away, Lazy John?
Pot and an old jawbone. Here today, but tomorrow he's gone. Why don't you get away, Lazy John?
Lazy John, Lazy John, why don't you get your day's work all done? You're in the shade and I'm in the sun. Why don't you get away, Lazy John?
I've got a gal, she lives by the road. Her teeth are crooked and her legs are bowed, but she sure is a lot of fun. Why don't you get away, Lazy John? Lazy John, Lazy John, why don't you get your day's work all done? You're in the shade and I'm in the sun. Why don't you get away, Lazy John? On Saturday night, we're gonna dance till morning light. Then I'll take my baby back home. Why don't you get away, Lazy John? Lazy John, Lazy John, why don't you get your day's work all done? You're in the shade and I'm in the sun. Why don't you get away, Lazy John?
Thank you so much. We'd like to do one more. And again, we'd like to thank the Brandywine Friends. Are they still called the Brandywine Friends of Old Time Music? Old Time and Bluegrass, right? Friendly to them all. For having us up here, and we hope they'll continue to have old time music, traditional music, here at the festival. We've been having a wonderful time, and we'd like to thank just everybody who's connected with this festival, and the sound people in particular for helping us out here and doing such a great job and letting us work with this single mic. And again, we'll be set up over here on the side with our CDs, and Brad has some videos, fiddle lesson videos on homespun tape, and we have plenty of t-shirts, folks. We'd like to get rid of some of them. We have them in extra, extra large, and extra large.
We have a family photo on it.
Speaking of being in the sun, Dony, okay. So thanks again. You've been a great audience, and we've loved being here.
Like cherries, cheeks just like a rose. How I love my Dony, God Almighty knows.
That's Tom, Brad, and Alice. That's pure and honest old-time music, folks. You haven't had enough, have you? All right, more of it from Tom, Brad, and Alice.
I'll tell you, it's just great to be here with Ray. I just remember those old days around Baltimore and Washington, listening to his radio shows. Is it in tune? Oh. Hopefully this is going to be in tune. Well. Anyway, thanks so much. We'll do one more song. It's a gospel song. We did this song. We were in Alaska at the Alaska Folk Festival, and we did this song. And we had first heard this song done by the great Bahamas singer and guitar player Joseph Spence. And some of you have heard of him, I hear. And then we found this in a hymn book, so we started doing it that way. And then some guy came up to us after the festival in Alaska and said, "Boy," after we sang this song, he said, "You made my day. You know, the Grateful Dead recorded that song." Which I didn't know. I don't know. This is hanging kind of low here. But it's called The Christian's Goodnight, or Sleep On, Beloved. We've heard it called that too.
Put a swig of water here.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Sleep on, beloved, sleep and take your rest. Lay down your head upon the Savior's breast. I love you well, but Jesus loves you best. Good night, good night, good night. I bid you good night. Good night, good night. Calm is your slumber as an infant sleep, but you shall wake divine, thou in the likeness of the Lord shall shine, and he shall bring that golden crown of thine. Good night, good night, good night. I bid you good night, good night, good night. Lord, I bid you good night, good night, good night.
And that's Tom, Brad, and this is Alice right here. And they bid you a good night. And good night to you, Tom, Brad, and Alice. Great job. That's some sweet harmony there. Old time mountain picking and singing.